Welcome back to the Rare Coins All World, coin enthusiasts. Today, we've got an exciting journey ahead as we dive deep into the world of one of America's most iconic coins, the 1974 Washington quarter. If you've ever wondered whether your collection of quarters might be worth something, this is one coin you'll definitely want to pay attention to. While most people see quarters as just another form of currency, some are hidden treasures waiting to be discovered. So, let's take a closer look at the 1974 Washington quarter and explore just why it could be worth so much more than its face value. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the first President of the United States, George Washington, on the 200th anniversary of his birth. It quickly became a staple of American coinage, and over the decades, it's undergone a few changes while maintaining its distinct design. The 1974 Washington quarter is no exception, and though it may seem like a run-of-the-mill coin, it has several factors that make it an intriguing piece for collectors. To start with, let's talk about the design. On the obverse, front, of the 1974 Washington quarter, you'll see a classic portrait of George Washington, created by sculptor John Flanagan. This design has remained largely unchanged since its introduction, making it one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. George Washington's dignified profile is the centerpiece, with the words "Liberty" above and the year 1974 below, along with the national motto, "In God We Trust." On the reverse, back, of the coin, you'll find a stunning image of an eagle, perched with outstretched wings, framed by a laurel wreath and the inscriptions "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum." The eagle design, symbolizing freedom and strength, has been part of American coinage for centuries. The 1974 Washington quarter continues this tradition and features this majestic bird in great detail, making it an important part of the coin's appeal to collectors. But what makes the 1974 Washington quarter stand out in terms of value? Well, the coin itself was minted during a time when the U.S. was going through a period of economic change. The early 1970s were marked by inflation and rising costs of living, as well as the tail end of the Vietnam War. Despite these challenges, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins like the Washington quarter, which were circulated widely and became part of everyday life. While the 1974 Washington quarter was minted in large quantities, there are a few factors that can make certain versions of this coin especially valuable today. One of the most significant factors affecting a coin's value is its condition. Coins that have been circulated heavily or that have suffered wear and tear generally have lower values, while coins in pristine, uncirculated condition are much more desirable to collectors. So, if you happen to find a 1974 Washington quarter in mint condition, meaning it looks almost as though it just came off the press, it could be worth a lot more than its face value. Another thing to look out for is mint errors. Minting errors are rare but can greatly increase the value of a coin. For example, you might find a Washington quarter with a double die, where the design is stamped twice, an off-center strike, where the design is misaligned, or other unusual features. These errors make the coin unique, and collectors are always on the lookout for such rarities. If you're fortunate enough to come across a 1974 quarter with a minting error, you could be holding on to a valuable piece of history. The 1974 Washington quarter was minted in both Philadelphia and Denver, and it's important to note that quarters minted in different locations can have subtle differences that can impact their value. The mint mark is located on the obverse side of the coin, near Washington's neck. A D mint mark indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, while a coin without a mint mark was produced in Philadelphia. Depending on the rarity of the mint mark, some coins may be more valuable than others. In general, quarters minted in Philadelphia tend to be more common, while Denver minted coins are sometimes seen as slightly rarer. While the difference may not be huge, it's something to keep in mind when evaluating the worth of your 1974 Washington quarter. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How much is a 1974 Washington quarter really worth? Well, it all depends on the condition of the coin and whether or not it has any special features. If you have a 1974 quarter in uncirculated condition, it could be worth a lot more than you might think. But if you're lucky enough to have one with a rare minting error or one that's been particularly well preserved, the value could be even higher. On average, a well-preserved 1974 Washington quarter could fetch a price of $73,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $73,000 for a single 1974 Washington quarter in pristine, uncirculated condition or with a rare minting error. So, next time you're rummaging through your change jar or sorting through a box of old coins, don't overlook those quarters. The 1974 Washington quarter might just be the hidden gem you've been looking for. And remember, the condition of the coin and any special features it has, like a minting error, can really make a difference in its value. Today, we're diving into a special coin that may be sitting in your pocket right now, the 1973 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, this might seem like just another quarter, but trust me, there's a lot more to this coin than meets the eye. In fact, this piece of American history could be worth more than you ever imagined. The Washington quarter has long been a beloved part of American currency, and for good reason. It was first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, and it has been in circulation ever since. Known for its elegant design featuring the first President of the United States, the Washington quarter is one of the most recognizable coins in the world. However, what makes the 1973 Washington quarter particularly interesting is its place in history. By the early 1970s, the United States had seen several changes, both politically and economically. The country was in the midst of the Vietnam War, and inflation was on the rise. Despite these turbulent times, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins, including the Washington quarter, which was minted in large numbers. Yet, despite being a standard-issue coin, the 1973 Washington quarter holds some unique features that can make it quite valuable to collectors today. Let's talk about the design first. On the obverse front of the 1973 Washington quarter, you'll find a beautiful portrait of George Washington, created by sculptor John Flanagan. This image of Washington has remained largely unchanged since 1932, making it one of the most iconic designs in American coinage. Above Washington's image, you'll see the word Liberty, and the coin is stamped with the year 1973, along with the phrase, "In God We Trust." Turning the coin over to the reverse side, you'll see the powerful symbol of freedom and strength, an eagle, perched on a bundle of arrows and an olive branch. The eagle's wings are spread wide, symbolizing the nation's strength and unity. The reverse also bears the inscription United States of America and E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This design, with its majestic eagle and elegant script, has been a hallmark of the Washington quarter for generations, but you may be wondering, what makes the 1973 Washington quarter worth more than just 25 cents? Well, like many coins, its value depends on several factors, including its condition, minting errors, and even its rarity. Let's take a closer look at these elements. First, condition plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. As with any collectible, coins that are in better condition are more sought after. A coin that has been circulated heavily and shows signs of wear and tear will generally have a lower value. On the other hand, a coin that has been well preserved, showing little to no signs of wear, can command a much higher price. The best possible condition for a coin is called uncirculated, meaning it has never been used in regular circulation and still looks as fresh as the day it was minted. Now, let's talk about something even more exciting: mint errors. Minting errors are rare, and they occur when something goes wrong during the production process. A Washington quarter from 1973 with a minting error, such as a double die, where the design is stamped twice, or a misaligned strike, can be worth far more than a standard quarter. These errors make the coin unique and desirable to collectors, which is why they can fetch such high prices. Keep an eye out for these anomalies, as they could greatly increase the value of your 1973 Washington quarter. Another factor that affects the value of the 1973 quarter is its mint mark. Like many coins, the 1973 Washington quarter was minted in different locations. The mint mark, which can be found on the obverse side of the coin near Washington's neck, indicates where the coin was produced. A D mint mark means the coin was minted in Denver, while a coin without a mint mark was minted in Philadelphia. Although these differences might seem minor, they can impact a coin's value, especially if one mint mark is rarer than the other. Now, we get to the exciting part, the value of your 1973 Washington quarter. While most of these quarters are worth only face value, there are exceptions. A well-preserved, uncirculated 1973 Washington quarter can be worth significantly more than just 25 cents. And if you happen to have one with a minting error or in exceptional condition, you could be sitting on a real gem. What's the value of a 1973 Washington quarter that's in top condition or has a rare minting error? You might be surprised to learn that a 1973 Washington quarter can be worth as much as $83,000. Yes, you heard that right, $83,000 for a single coin in pristine, uncirculated condition or with a rare error. That's a lot more than the typical 25-cent value. Now, we're not saying that every 1973 Washington quarter is worth that much, far from it. But if you happen to find one in excellent condition or with a minting error, you could be in for a big payday. So, next time you're sorting through your coin collection or going through change, be sure to keep an eye out for this particular coin. You never know, your 1973 Washington quarter might be worth a small fortune. Today, we're diving into a special coin that may be lurking in your collection or in your change jar, the 1979 Washington quarter dollar. While this coin may seem like just another piece of everyday currency, there's so much more to it. If you're a fan of rare and valuable coins, stick around, because the 1979 Washington quarter could be worth a lot more than you think. We're going to uncover why this coin stands out and how it might just surprise you with its value. The Washington quarter dollar has been an iconic part of American coinage since 1932, and in 1979, it continued to carry the legacy of honoring the first president of the United States, George Washington. On the obverse, the front side, of this coin, you'll find a striking portrait of Washington, created by sculptor John Flanagan. Washington's face is depicted with a calm, dignified expression, and the coin proudly bears the word "Liberty" above his head. Below the portrait, you'll find the year the coin was minted, 1979, and the famous phrase, "In God We Trust." The reverse side of the coin, which is equally impressive, features a soaring eagle with its wings outstretched. The eagle's wings symbolize freedom and strength, two values that have always been at the heart of American identity. The reverse design also includes the words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum," meaning, out of many, one. This iconic design has remained on the Washington quarter for decades and is beloved by coin collectors worldwide. While the design of the 1979 Washington quarter may be familiar, what sets this particular coin apart from others is its historical context. The year 1979 was a significant period in American history, and it marked an interesting time for the U.S. Mint. In the late 1970s, the U.S. was experiencing economic challenges, including inflation and high unemployment rates. Yet, despite these issues, the U.S. Mint continued to produce coins like the Washington quarter for everyday use. But little did anyone know, some of these 1979 quarters would become valuable collector's items in the years to come. So, why are some of these coins worth more than face value? The key factors that determine the value of any coin are its rarity, condition, and any minting errors that may have occurred during production. In the case of the 1979 Washington quarter, these elements can drastically affect its worth. Let's start with rarity. While millions of 1979 Washington quarters were minted, not all of them are still in circulation today. Some were lost, damaged, or simply taken out of circulation as the years passed. So, if you have a 1979 quarter that has been well preserved or remains in uncirculated condition, it could be much more valuable than a worn, circulated coin. Condition is another huge factor in determining a coin's value. A coin that has been used in daily transactions often shows wear, scratches, and other signs of handling. These coins are typically worth only face value, or a little more, depending on their condition. On the other hand, coins that have been carefully preserved and stored in excellent condition often referred to as uncirculated coins, are much more sought after. The more pristine the coin, the higher its value. Now, here's where things get even more exciting: minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process. These errors can range from double strikes to misaligned designs, off-center coins, or even blank coins that were accidentally struck without a design. These error coins are rare and highly sought after by collectors, which is why they can command significantly higher prices. For example, a 1979 Washington quarter with a minting error, like a double die or an off-center strike, could be worth much more than the standard issue. Collectors are always on the lookout for these unusual coins, and if you happen to come across one, you could be holding a rare treasure that could bring in a hefty price. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty. How much could your 1979 Washington quarter actually be worth? If you have a well-preserved, uncirculated 1979 quarter, its value could rise well above its face value of 25 cents. In fact, some of these coins, especially those with minting errors, have sold for impressive amounts. So, how much is a top-quality 1979 Washington quarter worth? If you've got a 1979 Washington quarter in exceptional condition, or even better, one with a rare minting error, it could be worth as much as $68,000. Yes, you read that correctly, $68,000 for a single 1979 quarter in the right condition or with a rare error. That's a significant amount for a coin that was once in regular circulation. Now, it's important to remember that not every 1979 Washington quarter will fetch that kind of money. Most of them are still worth just 25 cents unless they meet certain criteria. But if you happen to find one that is in near perfect condition, or if you get lucky and discover a coin with a minting error, you could have something truly valuable on your hands. So, what should you do if you think you might have a valuable 1979 Washington quarter? First, take a closer look at the condition of the coin. If it looks like it's been through heavy circulation, it's probably worth just face value. However, if it looks pristine, shiny, and well preserved, it could be worth far more. Second, check for any minting errors. Look for signs like a double strike, off-center designs, or any other unusual features that might indicate a minting mistake. If you spot an error, your coin's value could skyrocket. Today, we're going to talk about a coin that you might just have in your collection or could find hiding in your change, the 1986 Washington quarter dollar. While quarters are typically just another part of everyday currency, the 1986 Washington quarter stands out in more ways than one. Stick with us until the end, because you might just be sitting on a hidden treasure that could fetch a surprising value. Now, you might be asking, what makes the 1986 Washington quarter so special? After all, this coin was produced as part of the regular circulation series. But the truth is, this particular quarter has a significant place in U.S. coinage history, and its value is much more than you would expect from a standard coin. Understanding why the 1986 quarter has gained so much attention among collectors starts with a look at the history behind the design and its role in U.S. currency. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the first President of the United States, George Washington. Its iconic design, featuring Washington's profile on the obverse, the front of the coin, has remained largely unchanged over the years. The reverse, back, of the quarter features a bald eagle, a symbol of freedom and strength, soaring high with its wings spread wide. This reverse design has been a part of the quarter for much of the coin's history, symbolizing both the power and the pride of the United States. Now, let's focus on the specific year we're discussing, 1986. By the time this coin was minted, it had been decades since the original release of the Washington quarter. By 1986, the coin had already established itself as a staple of American currency, but it continued to evolve alongside the changing times. In 1986, there was a shift toward increasing attention to the quality and presentation of U.S. coins, with more coins being minted for collectors and not just for daily use. This is where the value of the 1986 Washington quarter starts to rise. One key factor that drives the value of the 1986 quarter is the fact that, while millions of them were produced, only a small percentage are still in pristine, uncirculated condition. As with most coins, the more time they spend in circulation, the more wear and tear they accumulate. That means, if you happen to have one of these quarters in excellent condition, no scratches, no signs of being used, then you could have a valuable coin on your hands. Coins in uncirculated condition are highly sought after by collectors because they represent a piece of history that has been preserved in near-perfect form, but let's not forget, collectors also look for something else when evaluating a coin's value: rarity. While many 1986 Washington quarters were minted, fewer of them remain in the kind of condition that makes them truly valuable. Coins that are still in mint condition are rarer and more difficult to find as time passes. Additionally, some 1986 quarters were produced in limited numbers for special sets, further increasing their appeal to collectors. Another thing to consider with the 1986 Washington quarter is the possibility of minting errors. Mistakes happen at the mint, and when they do, those coins become highly valuable. Imagine finding a 1986 quarter that was struck off-center or with a double die error. Those coins could be worth far more than your typical quarter. Minting errors are considered one of a kind, which makes them even more desirable for collectors looking to add something truly special to their collection. Now, let's talk about the market. Coin collecting isn't just about holding onto old coins, it's about recognizing the value in them. Coins that are preserved in excellent condition and have rarities like minting errors can fetch impressive sums in today's market. So, how much could the 1986 Washington quarter be worth? Well, if you happen to have one of these quarters in uncirculated condition or one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a value of $60,000. Yes, you heard that right. A 1986 Washington quarter, in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error, could be worth as much as $60,000. That's a significant amount for a coin that you may have passed by countless times. It's a reminder that you should never underestimate the value of your coins, especially if they're well preserved or have some unique characteristics. So, how can you tell if your 1986 Washington quarter is valuable? First, examine the condition of the coin closely. If it has been well kept and looks almost as if it just came out of the mint, then you're in the right direction. If it's a little worn, it still might have some value, but it won't come close to the prices we're talking about for pristine examples. Second, check for any minting errors. While these coins were mass-produced, there's always a chance that one slipped through with a unique mistake. Look for misaligned designs, double strikes, or any other irregularities that might make your coin stand out. If you find an error, get it checked out by a professional, as minting errors can make a world of difference when it comes to value. Remember, the coin market can be unpredictable, but knowing what to look for and understanding the key factors that make a coin valuable, like rarity, condition, and minting errors, can give you a big advantage when it comes to finding valuable coins in your collection or your spare change. That wraps up our look at the 1986 Washington quarter. It's a reminder that some of the most valuable coins may not be the ones you expect. So, next time you're going through your coin collection or checking your spare change, keep an eye out for those hidden gems. They could be worth far more than you think. Today, we're diving into something special, something that might be tucked away in your collection or in your coin jar without you even knowing its true worth. Yes, we're talking about the 1994 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it might seem like just another quarter in circulation, but trust me, this coin has a lot more going for it than meets the eye. Stick with us as we explore the history, the value, and the potential worth of this iconic coin. To start, let's set the scene with some historical context. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin features Washington's profile on the obverse side, a powerful image of the first President of the United States, while the reverse typically displays an eagle, symbolizing freedom and strength. Over the years, the design has remained largely unchanged, making this coin a familiar face in the pockets and wallets of millions of Americans. Fast forward to 1994, a year that's far from the earliest issue of the Washington quarter, but it was still an important time in U.S. coinage history. By this time, the U.S. Mint had been producing quarters for decades, but something interesting happened in the 1990s. During this era, the mint was working to improve the quality of the coins and refine their production process. The 1994 Washington quarter was produced as part of the regular series, with a production run in the hundreds of millions. But what makes the 1994 quarter stand out is the attention to detail in the minting process and the ongoing efforts by collectors to find coins in pristine condition. So, what does this mean for collectors and for the coin's value? Well, much like with any collectible, condition is everything. The 1994 Washington quarter is no different. Most of the coins that were released into circulation are quite worn by now, especially if they've been used in everyday transactions. But here's the catch: coins that are in uncirculated or near mint condition are worth a lot more than those that have been heavily used. That's right, finding a 1994 Washington quarter in mint condition, or even better, one that has been carefully preserved, could be worth significantly more than its face value. But it's not just about condition. The rarity factor also plays a huge role in determining value. While the 1994 Washington quarter wasn't necessarily minted in limited quantities, there are some factors that could make certain examples rarer than others. For instance, if the coin you have has any minting errors, such as double strikes, misaligned designs, or other production issues, it could be much more valuable to collectors. Mint errors are highly sought after because they are one-of-a-kind pieces, and a single mistake at the mint could result in a coin worth far more than you might expect. Now, let's get into the juicy part. How much could your 1994 Washington quarter be worth? If you happen to have one in uncirculated condition or one with a rare minting error, you could be looking at a coin that is worth $58,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. A well-preserved 1994 Washington quarter, or one with a minting error, could be valued at an impressive $58,000. It's amazing how a coin that was once just a small piece of pocket change can turn into such a valuable collector's item, but that's the magic of the world of numismatics. Even coins that might seem ordinary on the surface can be worth a small fortune if you know where to look and what to look for. So, how do you know if your 1994 Washington quarter could be worth this much? First, check the condition of the coin. If it's in excellent, uncirculated condition with no signs of wear, then you're off to a good start. Next, carefully inspect the coin for any minting errors. Look for any imperfections in the design, whether it's a double die or a misaligned strike. If you find something unusual, that could be your ticket to a significant payout. In conclusion, the 1994 Washington quarter is more than just a coin, it's a potential treasure trove waiting to be discovered. If you happen to come across one in great condition, or better yet, one with a minting error, you could be sitting on a valuable collector's item worth $58,000. So, the next time you go through your coin collection, don't just pass by the quarters, take a closer look. You never know, that 1994 quarter you thought was just another piece of change could be worth a fortune. Thanks for joining us today, and as always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more exciting coin discoveries. Happy collecting!